So yes, Italy has just voted in a right-wing government. You know, a little bit further to the right as well. No wonder that happened in Sweden as well. I've got a feeling that some future elections are going to hold similar things because I mean Marine Le Pen did very very well in France. She didn't win, unfortunately, but she did do very very well. You know, there's something's happening in Europe. I've absolutely no idea what could have caused it. I guess we will never know. However, it has just happened in Italy with a certain female, a woman too, called Giorgia Meloni. And we're just going to go through. Then this, I just wanted to choose the Sun to go through the explanation of who she is because it will be fair and completely unbiased in every single way. I am certain. Right away, Mussolini? Question mark. Yes, I made sure to choose this one. Who is Giorgia Meloni? Italy's just new right wing, who is obsessed with Lord of the Rings. It's saying that like it's a fucking bad thing, man. If you're not down with Tolkien, I don't even want to know you, man. If you don't roll with me in Arda, you can get the fuck out. Go fucking watch your Harry Potter and other cringe pish. She admires Margaret Thatcher. Well, not everyone's perfect. Despises woke politics and wants tighter laws around immigration. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. That's all I'm saying. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. There she is with fucking that motherfucker. What was his name? Silvio Berlusconi. That's just like that. That's a skeleton wearing a skin suit. Just look at that guy. Oh fuck me. My big she go. Okay. I'm liking her. I'm enjoying her. On paper, she looks conservative. A bit like her own conservatives. But some say that the 45-year-old will lead Italy's most right-wing government since Benito Mussolini from 1922 to 1943. Such a shame. It's not fascism, by the way. Everyone's like, oh my god, there's connections to Mussolini. No, there isn't. Well, apparently her party is a splinter group of a splinter group of a splinter group from another party that broke away from Mussolini because they didn't like the way Mussolini was running things. So it's not. The connection is, yeah, it's a really shoddy connection. There are questions over her policies at home amid controversial remarks about same-sex parenting, abortion, and her refusal to drop her party's slogan, God, Family, Fatherland. Why would you? I don't understand why you're forcing them to drop a slogan. I mean, the slogan of the party is meant to be what the party's all about. Like, if that is what you're about, then you would have that as the slogan. I mean, if I had my own political party, mine would be called "Discriminate Against Government Employees." Hang signs outside your shop, run them down in the street, burn crosses in their front gardens, get rid of them. Yet no one could question her meticulousness. The Lord of the Rings fan who once attended a Hobbit camp is said to be obsessive about details. I don't. Why is the Lord of the Rings thing being used against her? It just makes her cooler. She writes only by hand in capital letters on square. Demands. Documents are printed on a single page in font size 12 and has a colour coded wardrobe. So she's a tad on the spectrum. She's a tad on the spectrum as well. The working class mum of one grew up in the poorer Garbatella area of Rome, set up in the 1920s to give railway and dock workers homes. She was just 15 when she joined the local branch of the far-right youth front known as the Seagulls. That's not a great name for a far-right group. So, going to get rid of foreigners and steal people's chips straight out their hands at the seaside. Pals say that she rang the doorbell and was met by a bemused group of all-male radicals. One of 2 daughters, she grew up with her Sicilian mum, Anna Paratore, after her father, a tax advisor who had voted communist, abandoned the family when she was 11. Strange behaviour for a communist. In her book, I Am Georgia, My Roots, My Ideas, she writes about how most of the Seagulls had complicated family lives and wanted to belong to something. There seems to be a huge wave of that going around right now. Lots of young people find themselves very lost. Everybody needs, something. A lot of people don't have something, so they are looking for anything. Have you noticed this? I have noticed this. It's very, very common nowadays. It's strange. She also revealed she was bullied for being overweight as a teen. Deserved. Kidding on, fucking look who's talking. Which saw her take up running in later life. As a minister, she shunned the government chauffeur-driven car and drove her own Mini into Parliament. She helped found the Brothers of Italy party, Fratelli d'Italia, in 2012, 4 years after becoming the country's youngest minister under then PM Silvio Berlusconi. Its logo features a tricolour flame, a fascist symbol for more than 60 years. In the run-up to the election, Meloni provoked fury over threatening a naval blockade of Libya to stop migrants and is on course for a showdown with the EU over €200 billion given to help boost Italy's economy. The Italian government promised it would use cash from the EU COVID recovery fund to invest in green energy, but Meloni wants to offset soaring energy bills. Okay, so given the fact that like them being actually fascists, like no, like there's no. As far as I'm aware, in Europe, there are fascist groups. There absolutely are fascist groups, but an actual fascist party, I'm not aware of one. I mean, if there was one, they would be paraded in my face all the fucking time because that's all people argue about me with. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is one out there, but you know, an actual recognised party that can stand in elections and stuff like that. No. Also, Italy. By the way, Italy has a very, very different opinion of right-wing politics. I mean, I was over there. I was in Italy for my honeymoon. I went to Sorrento. Beautiful fuck. By the way, Italy's a fucking beautiful country. Beautiful, beautiful country. Sorrento is absolutely amazing. I went to see Pompeii, and at the end of the video, I'll tell you a story about our tour guide at Pompeii. But they have in my conversations with them, they have very different opinions of the right wing. Italy, they are very positive towards the right wing. I saw a lot of graffiti of certain things when I was over there. Yeah. They approach the right wing very differently. There are also worries over support of Ukraine. She has backed the West, but her Brothers of Italy party will rule with Berlusconi's Forza Italia party and Matteo Salvini's League party. Both have cast out over sanctions against Russia and have close ties with Putin. It is hoped Meloni can keep them under control, as her party won more votes than either. Riding the crest of the populist wave, her party has demolished the opposition on a traditional family values ticket. Anti-drugs, anti-fostering for same-sex families, and against abortion, Meloni caused uproar at a recent rally. She told supporters, yes to natural families, no to the LGBT lobby, yes to sexual identity, no to gender ideology, yes to sexual identity. I don't know what she means by that. But yeah, yes to natural families. Yes, I do believe governments absolutely should be doing everything they can to encourage more childbirth, more natural families. You know, let's have a time back where families can survive on one paycheck, you know what I mean. No to the LGBT lobby. I mean, they can have rights. They can have the exact same rights as everybody else, no more, no less. No to the violence of Islam. Yes to safer borders. No to mass immigration. Yes to working for our people. That, I see no problem with that one whatsoever. Her pitch to the electorate centred on her down-to-earth approach and honesty. So in other words, it was probably a right-wing populist type of message. Banner. I wonder why right-wing populism is becoming very popular throughout Europe. I wonder what's been taking place over the last 5, 6, 7 years. You know, that's caused this massive shift. It's strange. Yet on election day, she tweeted a pic of herself holding 2 melons in front of her chest. That's just some shit posting. As Italy headed to the polls on Sunday, she says, I want a country where you get ahead not because of your friends in high places or the family you were born into, but what you make of yourself. Yep, meritocracy. I see no problem with that at all. The voters like me because they trust me. They know there are no tricks, no lies. Meloni will struggle with the same problems facing Britain: soaring inflation, rising fuel prices, and a cost of living crisis. Keep the flame alive, but the Italian economy, the third largest in the Eurozone, also has a mountain of debt at a record €2.7 trillion. For decades, its politics have been mired in tax, bribery, and sex scandals. Italians, sex scandals? It's not like them. Berlusconi, who led the government 3 times, only returned to politics this year after being banned following a conviction for tax fraud. I mean, say what you will, but see when even the government themselves are fucking refusing to pay their fucking taxes. It makes me happy. Ideally, no tax. I realise I'm saying things like, Oh yes, this person seems like a reasonable, normal, lovely leader. However, in the same breath, completely abolish the government, abolish elections completely. Meloni has said she admires Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan's style of politics. She told cheering supporters in Rome last night, Italians have clearly indicated that they want a centre-right government. She added, Italians have chosen us and we will not betray them. Yet no one can be certain whether Meloni will keep up the rhetoric when in power. Matthew Fieldman, a specialist in fascism, in fascism and the far right and director of academic consulting services, said it is important to recognise that Miss Meloni started her career at 15 with the Italian Social Movement, a party that wanted to keep the Mussolini flame alive. When she was 15, right? Very long time ago. For example, I was a fucking communist when I was 15. I was cringe. People grow out of things. Did you know that? I mean, she's 45 now, so that's been 30 years. I think her, I'm just spitballing here, but I think her political leanings might have changed a little bit in, 30 years since she was a teenager. The coalition between these three parties is a very different kettle of fish from anything that we've seen in Italy post-war. This isn't just the Conservative Party with bells on, it's more than that, Oh, the scaremongering, oh, the fascists, they're under every floorboard, they're in every bush, they're fucking watching you while you sleep, give me money. They talk about law and order, patriotism and immigration, which works for a lot of people. Strange that. He noted how the Brothers of Italy has toned down the anti-EU rhetoric in the past, even though, no, they shouldn't, they should keep it up. As the election results emerged, Meloni vowed that the party would govern for everyone. Who exactly that everyone is will soon become clear. And here we are at the end of the article, and it is just absolute scaremongery. Total scaremongery. Oh, right-wing government. Oh, they must be exactly like Trump, so they're a racist, fascist, bigot, Nazi, and all the usual shit. Like, take your average leftist, just pull them out of a crowd and say, can you name anyone right-wing who's not a Nazi? And they'll struggle. They'll fucking struggle to think of one because they've been that conditioned to think anything that crosses that line in the centre of the fucking compass is just a raging white supremacist. That's just the way they've been conditioned. There's not really much you can do about it. However, unfortunately, these people are allowed to vote in elections, which is why democracy is a failed system. Because if you control the flow of information, you control democracy. But this is usually where I'd end the video. But I need to talk about my tour guide in Pompeii. Plus, Pompeii, beautiful fucking place. The thing I was excited about seeing the most was the mosaic, which is the earliest, archaeologically at least, found beware of the dog sign. It was literally a mosaic of the dog in front of a bar. It was the innkeeper's dog, and in Latin it's got beware of the dog. And I just wanted to see that, and I got to see it, and it was brilliant. Our tour guide was going around, taking us around all the places. It was lovely, everyone was nice. There was a bunch of Americans, there was English people, there was all that as well, because it was an English-speaking tour. And then when we got to the end of the tour, it's almost like the tour guide knew that after this point, there's no refunds. Like, it was too late for anyone to get a refund. He looks around at Pompeii, where you've got the statue that's sitting facing down Vesuvius in the distance. I love, by the way, see standing behind that statue with the spear staring down the fucking volcano. Beautiful fucking, honestly, beautiful place. He just looks around and goes, beautiful landscapes, beautiful architecture, beautiful culture. And the immigrants want to destroy it. Just out of fucking nowhere. Just out of nowhere he hits out with this. And, the little fucking backpacker hippy-dippy types in the tour group, they got fucking pissed off at what he just said. So they start arguing back with him, and he just turns around and goes, you don't understand. They are not like us. And it was funny. I remember Sue looking at me going like that, don't you say a word. And I'm like, I don't need to fucking say anything, man. Little Giuseppe there is saying everything that needs to be said. But yeah, that was funny. It was a best tour guide ever.